Episode 45 this week, A Perfect Little War. This one, not too bad. The Enterprise goes to a planet where Captain Kirk had been when he was a young lieutenant. They were going to check the progress of the civilization, see the advancements they had made. They get down there, and Kirk warns them there's this giant animal, the Mumato, that has poisonous claws. And he says, watch out for those things, they can get you. They said, okay. So Spock and McCoy start to look for Kirk's buddy pal that he lived with. And they see there's like two different camps. One of them has guns. Kirk's like, they don't have guns on this planet. That's way too advanced for them. And they're like, well, there they are with it. So Kirk throws a rock to distract them to save his buddy pal who was going to get ambushed. The crew of the Enterprise try to run away. Spock gets shot in the back. Right in the back he gets shot. Green blood everywhere. Kirk grabs him. They run off. Get to the ship. Spock's got to go to the sick bay because he's been shot. McCoy doesn't know if he'll live or die. So Kirk's like, well, I'll just take McCoy down. We'll figure out what's happening here. I'll talk to my buddy pal. So they beam down. The Mulatto goes after Kirk. The Mulatto bites Kirk. He's got the poison in him. So Kirk's buddy pal shows up. McCoy's like, it's your buddy pal Jim Kirk. Save him. He's like, I know. We'll take him to my village. He takes him there. And he says he's married to one of the women that can do healing. Basically like a witch doctor type. Well, McCoy's like, go get her. So he goes and finds his wife, tells her what's happening, and then they run separately to the village. She gets there first, sees McCoy heating rocks with his phaser. And she's like, well, we could win the war with the people that got the guns if we had those. And the buddy pal of Kirk shows up. The wife's acting all weird, but she eventually heals him. She's still acting weird, and she tells Kirk's buddy pal, yeah, something weird was going on there. He eventually tells her Kirk was from outer space. She's like, aha, I knew it. Turns out the Klingons have been supplying these tribes with guns, and so now they have like this imbalance of power going on the planet. Kirk's like trying to figure out why his buddy pal's acting weird. My buddy pal's like, well, maybe I told my wife who you are. And he's like, oh no, I want to be with the Prime Directive. And he's like, sorry. And they try to fight the Klingons off. The woman shows up. She wants the phaser. He calls it the magic box or some weird thing like that. And so she puts like this spell on Kirk. Now Kirk can't keep his hands off the woman. And then right then a Mumato shows up. And she's like, oops. She's like, fight the Mumato. He's like, I can't. Because he, wanted the woman, not the fighting the Mumato. She eventually uses the phaser on the thing. She runs off. Tries to get the other tribe to, like, believe her with the phaser. Rather than showing them the phaser or shooting them with it, she waits until they grab her and they, like, trying to gang rape her. And that doesn't work, and then Kirk and the other tribesmen show up. There's a big fight. Big fight. While all that's happening, up on the Enterprise, Dr. Mbata, who's a Vulcan specialist apparently, telling Nurse Chapel, if Spock says anything, do it. He'll be in a coma, but do whatever he says. She's like, well, okay. Spock wakes up and he's like, hit me. And she's like, no. And he's like, hit me. She's like, no. He's like, hit me. Well, she barely taps him like, no, hard. So she starts slapping him harder and harder. Mr. Scott runs in. He thinks Chapel's lost her mind, so he pulls her off. Mbata runs in. He's like, oops. Runs over, starts punching Spock in the face. And Spock's like, well, that's much better, thanks. Apparently, it's an ancient Vulcan technique. Apparently. But then Spock makes it down to the planet just in time for Kirk to win the fight, and Kirk's going to supply the tribe with guns, so everything's even. And Spock's like, what about the Prime Directive? And Kirk's like, Prime Directive? What's that? And he does his little laugh, and that was pretty much it. Some interesting notes. No Sulu again. Sulu absent for like the 5th episode in a row. He missed a lot of episodes doing that movie, The Green Berets. Also, the first episode where Kirk and Spock were both seriously injured in the same episode. Of course, they were like in sickbay at the same time occasionally, but not due to serious injuries. At the same time, that left Mr. Scott in charge. He was trying to keep hidden from the Klingons, so they didn't give away their position while he figured out what was going on the planet. No, pretty much that's episode 45.